I've been sent MOZA's SR-P sim racing pedals, and this is going to be my honest review. With a high precision throttle and a load cell brake pedal, these are affordable and highly accurate sim racing pedals. I'll be showing you how I'm using these on carpet and just how much they can affect your gameplay. So thank you very much to MOZA for sending these pedals. So on screen I'm going to show you the unboxing and let's talk about the pedals features. So, they are made of very high quality steel. Like most MOZA products, the steel feels great and they're solid objects. Now, there's a throttle and brake pedal with the SR-P pedals. They don't include a clutch pedal, but you can buy the clutch pedal as an accessory. MOZA also sent me one of those. Now, the throttle and the clutch, they are not load cells. The load cell refers to the brake pedal. Now, you can put up to 100 kilograms of force on the brake pedal. All of the pedals have angle sensors. The brake is obviously a combined angle sensor and load cell, which measures force, not the angle. You can connect them to your PC via a USB cable, or they can be connected directly to your wheel, your MOZA base. And MOZA also sent me the optional accessory kit. This changes the brake pedal's travel and resistance. It's basically springs and a rubber damper. I haven't used them. I don't think I need to use them, but if you're really competitive sim racer, you might want a shorter pedal travel distance and more resistance. Setting up the pedals is quite easy. There's a metal base plate. The pedals attach with screws to the underside of that metal base plate. Underneath that, you've got all your wires. It's really well thought out here. There's some good cable management options. You basically put the wires through the other pedals to get them out of the way, and all of the pedals data connection cables connect to a central hub on the throttle. You can adjust the placement of the pedals. They can be closer together or more spaced apart. I've got them evenly spaced apart here. And you can also move the plates where you press on the pedals of the brake and the clutch up and down. So basically the area that you push on the pedals can be moved from the very top to the very bottom or in the middle, wherever you want. There's a lot of adjustment and customization on these. Now, before you purchase these pedals, you need to think about how you're going to mount them. So the pedals do have rubber feet on the bottom, and they're pretty good. There's several rubber feet on there to make sure they don't slide about on hard, flat floor. But I have carpet, and unfortunately that does mean when you push down on them, especially on the brake load cell, the pedals will move around on carpet. You could mount your pedals onto a pedal tray or a pedal mount. These things sit on the floor, and you just use the mounting points on the pedals and attach them to that. Good solution. I don't have one though. Or you could use a wheel stand. These are very common. You can sometimes fit them underneath a desk, but they take up quite a bit of space. I have a very small room. It's only 2 meters wide, and I would be pushed up right against the back wall if I had a wheel stand, so that is not practical for me right now. Or if you have even more space, you could use a sim racing cockpit or a sim rig. Again, the MOZA pedals have lots of attachment points, so you can attach them to pretty much any universal mounting system on a sim rig or a pedal tray, whatever. Luckily, there are many other alternatives, DIY alternatives for a low cost that really work quite well. One of the most common ways of doing it is using some kind of wood DIY construction to give your pedals more support, and also use the wall in front of you, if you're in front of a wall, as a way to stop the pedals moving. So what I did, my granddad happened to have a big oak block, and it's pretty big, it's really heavy, and we basically drilled into that and attached the pedals directly to the oak block. Now, it wasn't quite long enough to give me enough distance away from the wall. I can't reach the pedals underneath the desk, even with this amount of distance on the oak block, which you can see here. So I'm using one of the boxes for the clutch pedal to give me a bit more distance. Now, in the future, I'm going to add some kind of like runners down the side, which can be extended, like metal tubes that can be extended to give me more distance away from the wall. So that's just something to bear in mind. I know my solution looks like a ghetto sort of solution, but it works. It does work. So how are the pedals? Well, they work straight away with the brilliant MOZA Pithouse app. You use the Pithouse app for every single other MOZA device. You can set output curves, the minimum and maximum inputs for the pedals, and you can even drag a little slider that basically sets your balance on the brake pedal between the regular angle sensor, which most pedals have, or the load cell. And I really like that. We'll talk about that a bit later. Now, the pedals are recognized by all games. They work like any other pedal set. I tested the pedals out in BeamNG and Automobilista too. Now, in BeamNG, I noticed that they're super accurate. They're very rewarding to use. They make things like drifting very easy. The clutch and the throttle are quite light, but that's okay. You know, clutch and throttles are usually quite light in cars anyway. The main set of pedals I've used for the last 12 years are my Logitech G27 pedals, and basically I've retired those because after 12 years they started to break, and the MOZA SR-P, in comparison to those Logitech pedals, are so accurate. You can just hold them in any position and there's no flickering in the inputs. It's just absolutely bang on. In games like BeamNG and maybe Truck Simulator, I wouldn't use the load cell as much. Load cells are more for sim racing because, you know, in race cars, the brake pedal can be pretty tough towards the very end of its travel, but when you're doing casual driving, you want more of a casual experience. You don't have to push hard down on a pedal to do an emergency stop. So in a sim racing game like Automobilista 2, the load cell really does make a lot of difference. If you enter a corner a bit too fast and you push down hard on the load cell with the load cell activated in the Pithouse software, it doesn't really matter that you entered the corner too fast because you can graduate your braking a lot more with the amount of force you use on the brake pedal. It gives you a lot more control and it helps you connect with the car more. You can very easily graduate the braking and just turn in more easily into the corner using the pressure differences on the brake pedal. So the brake pedal has up to 100 kilograms of force that it can recognize. That's a lot. And it makes you more consistent with your braking because it's more like muscle memory. Having those angle sensors, which are highly precise, is great, but then when you're pushing down on the load cell, you remember how hard you have to press down for certain corners. It's that muscle memory that helps you just be more consistent and more accurate. I've used these for the last 24 hours, and I have to say, it's changed the way I drive in games. I didn't think it would change me this much, but I can jump in pretty much any car, and within a couple of minutes, my braking skill is far better than it probably ever has been. Having a load cell, and by the way, this is a very competitively priced load cell brake pedal here. Having a load cell is really just a game changer. Now, through the MOZA Pithouse app, you can set your default settings and basically export a little file that says, I want this profile for the pedals for BeamNG and this profile for Automobilista 2, and so on and so on. And what you can do there is you can change the balance between how much the load cell is registered in the pedals, so it puts more bias towards the pressure of the load cell rather than the angle sensor. And obviously for more sim racing games, you want more emphasis on the load cell. For chill driving games like BeamNG and ETS2, you're going to want to rely on the angle sensor a bit more. So what about the price of the SR-P pedals? Well, usually the SR-P pedals on their own without the clutch are $159, but MOZA's Black Friday sale has just started. It runs from the 21st of November 2024 to the 2nd of December. That is Cyber Monday. So the SR-P pedals are $20 off. That's down to $139. Now, the clutch isn't on sale, but that is $45.90. I really do think it's worth it, and if you are interested, I'm not sure it's necessary if you're not a huge sim racing fan or a competitive sim racer, but the accessory kit is another $15. I have an affiliate link if you'd like to support me at no extra cost to you. I've linked it in the description and the pinned comment down below, and that takes you straight to the SR-P pedal page. There are loads of other deals on the MOZA website for Black Friday. In fact, there's some deals that go up to $100 off on different products. A lot of the products on MOZA's website are on quite a big sale right now, so if you're looking to invest into the MOZA ecosystem, now is a great time. Please let me know what you think of the MOZA SR-P pedals. If you already have them, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see my review of other MOZA products, there's 2 videos on screen right now. On the left, you've got the review of the truck sim wheel, and on the right, the MOZA indicator stalks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more simulator adventures.